We are live, yes. All right. Good evening.
Okay.
We are live again. We are live and live and live and live. Good evening, everybody. Marriage, money or marriage? Which one comes first? Money or marriage? Which one comes first? Let me. I think I didn't put it as a question. Let me. It's good to be here again. Good to have this conversation again. The second Sunday running. Welcome, Dan. Thank you so much for this second Sunday in a series where we are going to be looking at things that have to do with marriage, relationship, with love. Today we are looking at money or marriage. Which one comes first? I put it out on my timeline, and a lot of individuals were like, money, 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 money comes first before marriage. A lot of individuals. Dan, can you hear me? Hello, Dan.
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, I think you were frozen at some point. So individuals are like, money comes first. If you don't have money, how are you going to enjoy marriage? Some are like, okay, just very few are like, no, it's not about money, it's about love, it's about connection. So in this live stream, we are going to be hearing the truth. We are going to be hearing the answers. Do you want to get money first or do you want to get married? All right. Oh, well, on my own part, I have my guest here. My guest here is Dana Robasa. But for me, when I was before getting married, I said to myself, when I finished from university, I was dating a girl at the time, all the from university days. And when I was done with my exams, I was leaving school. Um, and so she wanted us to get married to settle down. And I told her, no, I wouldn't want to be my first my very first how do I put it? My very first goal after university should not be to settle down. My goal was to get a job, to work hard, and then settle down. And so at the time, I had a goal of I finished university in 2003, did my NYC 2004, passed out 2005, got a job 2006, and so my plan was to work for like 4 years and be able to raise some good amount of money, have some a little bit of stable life, and then go ahead to finally settle down. But she wanted to actually settle down at the time, and I told her no, I needed to make money. So I needed to make money first before going into marriage. But some individuals, I've seen some individuals who really did care about that. They got married in the state they were in, and then they began to build together with their wives. But may not be the same for everybody. So which one is the truth? Do you want to make money first before marriage, or do you want to marry and then you start making money? So today I have my guest again. He was with me last Sunday where we looked at to be prepared for marriage or not to be prepared for marriage. If you are the one to prepare for marriage, or what is it? I mean, last Sunday was amazing. If you want the replay of last Sunday, then I can reach out to you and give you the link so that you can watch the replay of last Sunday. But today we have another very critical topic on our hands: money or marriage. Which one comes first? And I have with me here Dana Robasa, who is gearing up to have this conversation with me this beautiful evening, Sunday, the first day of October 2023, as we are going into the Ember months. Oh, we're already in the Ember months, right? First day of October 2023. Today is quite dry in Nigeria. I mean, there's no joy. A lot of people are not happy and excited to celebrate independence. Tomorrow is public holiday for us to celebrate that. I doubt. My wife went to the market and she couldn't even get green to buy for my son. And all of them were like, no, we're not Nigerian, so we're not interested in Nigeria. Of so when I asked my wife to tell me what nationality they belong to, they mentioned the name, which I don't want to mention here. But the anger all over the marketplace yesterday was that didn't want to celebrate independence. But anyway, we are going to be pushing forward with our lives, and today is another great day to teach money or marriage. Which one comes first? Okay, money or marriage? Which one comes first? Let me get the link to this live stream so that we can see the answers. those who are in the group, think,
You're sending to me, right?
mm, okay. All right, I'm going to send. I don't know why. That's me. All right, without wasting much time, let me get on my phone. Why? But I'm going to send it to you. I think that is a network issue. So, but without wasting time,
Okay.
let me make welcome. Let me make welcome my guests. I don't know why the link is not popping up. The link is supposed to pop up on my screen so that I can send it to you. I think it's network, but I'm going to get it and send it to you. Okay, I think I've gotten it now. Okay, let me copy the link and send to you in the comment section so that you can put in a group and tell them that we are live. Okay. All right, I'll send it to
All
you,
right.
Dan, so that you can
Okay.
go invite everyone and tell them that we are live right now. All right, so
All right.
guys, let's see your name in the comment section. Let's know where you're tuning in from, and so that we can say hello to you too. Let's know the city you're tuning in from. Let's know why you are here. If you're single or if you're married, come join us to have this great conversation this evening. All right, so without wasting much time, I think Dan is going to come right here and be part of what we are doing, be part of this conversation right now. Okay. All right, so I'm handing over right now to my guest Dan Arubasa to go ahead. Money or marriage, which one comes first? Is going to be doing an exhaustive teaching on that. Thank you, Dan. Over to you right now.
It's all right. It's a privilege to be here, sir. All right. So, guys, good evening, everyone, for the opportunity of having me to be a part of this amazing class, right? Thanks to Emeka Nobi for hosting me for this evening section, right? And our topic today is money or marriage, which one comes first, right? And earlier on when Mr. Emeka Nobi posted the question on his timeline on Facebook, I saw one of the questions, one of the response there that I like us to start with, right? And the person said, I can't remember the person's name now. The person said that there is really no right or wrong answer to the question, right? There's really no right answer. For some people, they think for them, because of where they are, they think that money is to come first before marriage. For some other people, for them, the marriage is actually much more important than uh, the money coming first, right? Or as it were, they can see that there are some things that are much more important than the marriage itself. That is something that are even much more important than money, right? So that's going to be where we're going to start this conversation from, right? So if you are here last week, we started this series since last week, right? Last week we get comprehensively with the concept of why it is not a job, right, to prepare for marriage, right? If you've not seen that video, I think like Emeka Nobi said, we will put the link in the comment section of this video so that you can easily rewatch it over time. So it gave that background, right? It gave that premise of it is not a job to prepare for marriage. Actually, it's supposed to be the job of your parents or your guardians to have prepared you for marriage. And in that section, we gave several reasons why it is actually not a responsibility, right? We get to that comprehensively last week, Sunday. So it's against that background that we're going to be starting today. First of all, like I said, there is no right or wrong answer to the question, right? Whether money or marriage, which will come first. So I'm going to present my own argument why I think probably there are some things that are more important, right, than money, talking about preparing for marriage or getting ready for marriage, right? So again, the background of is supposed to be our job or responsibility, right, to prepare for our parents to prepare us for marriage. Against that background, now I want you to imagine yourself, right? Don't focus on where we currently live at now. That is this generation where we live at now. Like take your mind back, your imagination back to like the time where our parents, like the place of raising kids and trying to set them up for marriage. Like cast your mind back to that reality, right? And imagine this. What would you say is the preparation process? If our parents are supposed to prepare us for marriage, like several years before the marriage will occur, because it's supposed to be their responsibility as is obtainable in nature, that even in the animals in the sea, they will prepare their young ones for the adult life, right? And also the animals in the wild, right? Also protect, have a responsibility to prepare their young for the adult life. Also, even the birds in the air also take up that responsibility to prepare their young ones, right, for marriage for several years before the marriage is supposed to take place. Because you cannot be getting ready for battle in the face of battle. You're supposed to have been prepared for the battle itself before it arrives. If you're preparing in the front of the battle, it is already too late. So it's only by God's mercy that you're going to be survived. So against that background, right? Now, when our parents back then, parents prepare their kids with a sense of responsibility, right? Which do you think is more important than the preparation process? Is it the ability of the children to grow their own food, or the food or the volume of food they can produce? Is it the skill? What are they preparing them for? Is it the ability to till the land, right? How to till, when to plant, when not to plant, what to observe before you plant, right? All these skills, survival skills, preparing them for how to provide their own food. Which is more important? Is it how much food they can provide or they can produce, or the skill, the preparation process, what it takes to produce enough food, which is more important, right? Now, you agree with me, right? If you think critically that the skill, the nitty gritties, the technicalities of how to plant and how to produce your own food, right, is much more important or complex even before talking about the quantity of food, right, that the person can produce at the end. Because if you take care of the technicality, then the person will have a template upon which they can begin to talk about how much food they can grow over time. So in those days, the preparation process, first of all, wasn't focused on how much food the guy or the lady can produce, as it were. It was focused more on making the singles, that are male or female, to understand how the farming techniques work, the season to plant, what to plant in what season, how to plant, and the process of nurturing, taking care of the plant. That was much more important than the quality of yield itself, right? So if your argument is that probably money is more important, or money first before marriage, right? You are missing a critical part of what is really entails to even produce money. Because the skill to produce money or to produce resources is more important than the resources itself. Let's put it this way: between the factories, right, the trained personnel, or the factories that manufacture cars that we buy, and the car itself, which is more important or which comes first? Is it the car or the factory? Of course, you agree with me that it is the factory, right? The working system of how a car is produced that will give us the end product of what we call a car that everybody will appreciate is much more important than the car itself, right? That is basically the concept of why, in my own opinion, right, in my own understanding, the capacity for a guy or for a lady to generate money is much more important when it comes to marriage, right? It's much more important that money itself, or how much the person can produce at this point in time. Because even if you have all the money right now and you decide to get married because now you have all the money and things go wrong tomorrow, right? You go back to square one. It is the survival skills you've developed over time. Because whatever money you have right now, whatever money you're going to be able to produce from 1 year from now, from 5 years from now, or from 10 years from now, is going to be a function of the quality of your skill, right? So, as it were, your skill is even much more important than how much money you can produce, right? The skill or your expertise is more like the raw material out of which you are going to learn how to multiply, right, or to maximize the fruit or the result of your skill. I hope this makes sense. And also, if you are also doing the argument of perhaps money is more important or money comes first before marriage, what you're literally saying, as it were, is that a young guy, right, who is from a wealthy home, because money, you are saying, is more important than the marriage itself, or the technicality or the skill of producing or generating income is not as important as money itself, right? So what you're literally saying is that because a guy is from a wealthy home, for instance, is of age to marry, then the guy is not qualified to marry, even though independent of his father or his parents' resources, the guy by himself cannot or does not understand the technicalities of how money is generated. So he grew up in a family where there is enough money to marry, right? So if money is much more important than the marriage itself, like when it comes to marriage success and all that, then you're saying that because his father has money, then he now has the qualification or what it takes, right, to get married. The truth is that you have a lot of money, it is not a qualifier to get married. That you have a lot of money, it is not a qualifier to get married, right? Because as it were, you know, today, if money was, as in money comes first before marriage, or is much more important when it comes to preparation for marriage process, then you shouldn't be having billionaires whose wives are leaving them. And even some billionaire wives whose husbands are leaving them. They have all the money available, right? But at a point, they come to that point, they say, you know what, I can't continue anymore in this relationship. That is because there are some things that are much more important in the marriage than money itself, right? Like for the guy that we refer to, the guy or the lady that we refer to that came from a wealthy home, right? If he's good, in spite of or irrespective of how much his or her father has, if he or she is going to be qualified to say, all right, ready for marriage, then he must know how, in spite of how much his father has or how much her father has, he or she must know how to create wealth or to generate money. First of all, it's not really about the volume of how much you can produce now, but the technicality, understanding, the basic understanding of the fact that no matter how much we separate the guy from the influence of his dad, and also to separate the lady from the influence of his father or of her parents, he or she will be able to have the capacity, the working mechanism that he can plug himself in and be able to produce his own resources over time. That is actually the most critical and important factor when it comes to marriage and money. So the point is, technically speaking, right, the ability to earn is more important than how much you earn when it comes to preparation for marriage. That is just basically what it is. The ability to earn, the ability to create income, to attract your own income. Even if it is 30,000 you are attracting right now, you know how to attract 30K. You know how to create a system, right? For instance, do you know how to grow 100K, 30,000 into 100,000, then 100,000 into 200K, 200K into 500K, 500K into 1 million naira? That skill, that multiplier effect is much more important in itself than how much you are earning at the moment. Because the truth is, in marriage, right, you get married, for instance, I was speaking yesterday, I speak online on another platform, and I made a reference to the fact that, you know, as a guy, as a man, for instance, who is earning right now, you're earning an income right now, let's say assume you are earning 100K, for instance. right? And at the point you were earning that 100,000, perhaps it is not even enough for you to, according to your thinking, it is not enough for you to, it's not enough income for you to get married right now. Of course, we can factor in every other factors like location where you are staying. Because for example, some people who are living in Lagos or some places like Abuja, even 50K, even they spend it for transport to go to work. So the question of location and all that also comes in. But the point is, if you were earning 100K, all things being equal, and you got married with that 100K, for instance, before you got married, the 100K was okay for you to take care of your needs and even have extra savings, right? Then you now got married with that 100,000. The truth is, your 100K, even you especially of how much your wife is earning at that point in time, right? The 100K, the moment you get married, is no longer actually 100,000. It is actually now divided by two, it is 50K in terms of value. When you receive it into your account, it's 300,000, but in terms of value, it's actually 50,000. Now, if God helps you and God bless your union with a child, maybe within the first 1 year, right? You guys have become three, and your income is still stuck at 100K. Actually, what you are not earning is not 100,000, even though it comes in volume, cash volume at 100,000. What you are not earning is actually 35,000 divided by three. That's 100 divided by three, right? That is actually the value of what you are earning right now. The point is, technically speaking, the ability to earn, the ability to create, the ability to attract more money, to design systems to earn more money is much more important than how much you are earning at the moment when it comes to marriage. It is not really money, right, that is first of all important. In fact, right, in my personal experience, right, by the grace of God, I'll be 10 years in marriage this year. That is this month actually. Today is 1st of October. By 20th of this month, I'll be 10 years inside this marriage of a thing. Now, it is interesting that I actually got married 10 years ago with my NYC allowance, 19,800. It was 20,000 back then. So when they pay it out to us, the bank will remove 200 naira. So what we get in our account was around 19,800. That was the regular income that I had at that point in time. The irregular income that was constant. I had side hustles, right? That I was into fashion, like designing clothes, right? Even when I was 7, I designed like travel by night, come back later, you have other sources of income that I was pushing. But the regular income that I had was 19,800. But my leverage, right? My strength at that point in time was that I knew how to grow or invest that 19,800 far back as then to put it into certain things, and if you come back with return, when return comes to buy the things needed for the wedding, from marriage and all that, I will set like that. I do sales, I do this, I do that. Do. So that capacity to earn is much more important than the volume of what you are earning right now. So even if, let's for instance, you are earning, maybe you are waiting to that time when you start earning 500,000 or 200K before you now say you are thinking about marriage, right? As in, if you don't know how to continuously grow your income, the skill to grow your income over time, it doesn't matter how much you got married with, the family pressure is going to choke that income if you don't know how to grow it. So the point I'm trying to make is much more important than money when it comes to marriage is the ability to multiply resources, human resources, financial resources, even time, right? You have to learn all these things because over time, as you begin to grow as an individual, whether you are a lady or you are a guy, over time, right? Your time, as family begin to expand, your time is going to be needed so much at home. So you must also even know how to multiply time, how to buy time, right? Using even what you are earning at the moment. That is what critical skill that you must have as an individual, and it's also much more important than whatever money you are earning at this point in time, right? So if the challenge probably right now you think you are ready for marriage, but the only thing you are waiting for right now is to how to have enough more money before you now get married. The question is, what are the guarantees? Let's say that you have the next your plan is to get married the next 5 years, right? And you are waiting till you make enough money to be between now that 5 years before you get married. Question is, what are the possibilities? What are the guarantees and the premise upon which you think 5 years from now, even though you are earning 100K, right? That 5 years from now, you will be able to produce enough money to get you married. Unless, of course, you have confidence in the fact that even though you are earning 100K at the moment, or 200K at the moment, or 300K at the moment, right? You have the capacity that in the next 5 years, guaranteed, based on your skills and expertise, to understand of how wealth is created, how wealth is sustained, and how wealth is multiplied. You understand all these things. Then you are saying that guaranteed in the next 5 years, right, you will be able to get married. The truth is, if you have that confidence in the ability to have more money in the next 5 years, it is still that same confidence that you need to get married now. Knowing that no matter what happens, you have the skills, you know what to do, right, to create or to multiply your income in the next 5 years. So let's say 500K in the next 5 years or 1 million naira in the next 5 years. Another question is this that you like to answer. Okay, is this. If you are waiting because of money to get married, right? In 5 years' time or in 10 years' time, if you are waiting, that's why you are waiting, want to make more money first. What are the guarantees that even if your income increases in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years, even if your income increases, what are the guarantees, right, that inflation will not eat up the volume of your cash that you have in terms of value? That even if you earn 500,000 5 years from now or 10 years from now, it may not still be enough. You will not still consider it enough because of the purchasing power of 500K from 5 years from now or some 10 years from now, right? You don't have control over that, except, of course, you know the technicality of how wealth is created, how to grow money, how to multiply money over time. For instance, let's assume that when Buhari came into office, your plan was to get married, let's say 8 years ago, right? Before Buhari came into office, for the first 4 years. And you were, because Buhari came into office, and you were now looking at, you know what, this economy is not okay, let's delay this marriage, let's look at what will happen, and see what will happen. The Buhari came into office, for some people, it messed everywhere up, right? And right now, the dollar began to go up, things became a lot hard for people. So you shifted your marriage again to the second tenor, right? You're hoping that one way or the other, power will change, and another 4 years came again, Buhari was in the office. So for 8 years, because of how much you were earning back then, you push your marriage. 8 years now, you've kept it on hold because of how much you are earning right now. Not that you are even growing or making investment in your ability to earn more money. Not that you are even growing, making investment in your ability to multiply money or how to create it. You are not making any practical investment whatsoever. You are just looking at how that you are going to earn more money somehow or some way. So let's imagine that 8 years of Buhari is gone. Now, Emiloko is here. Agbado economy is here, right? God help us that probably the saga and all that come in and it doesn't leave office for the next 4 years. It means that you're going to hold your marriage again for another 4 years. It contests again after at the end of his first tenure, another 4 years again, that's 8 years. So from Buhari time to Agbado economy time, that is 16 years combined together. You are keeping your marriage on hold. You are waiting till you have enough money, right? The point is, you don't really have that guarantee. You don't have that. Economic understanding, or that can guarantee you of how much you're going to make in the next 5 years, unless you actually have the skills of how to grow your money or how to take up challenges and multiply your income over time, right? Because also you don't even have the way, like if inflation happens, right? How are you going to be able to say, even if you earn 500,000 from now to that any 5K, like 5 years from now or even 10 years from now? What can you guarantee the volume of how much you are earning, right? And it will be enough 10 years from now, 5 years from now to be able to help you purchase everything that you need to settle you down, as in terms of settling down as a guy or as a lady. So the point is, the most critical, important part of things that are much more important when it comes to marriage, right? It is not money first. In fact, in this video, because of our time, there are actually 7 critical factors or 7 critical things that are important talking about getting ready for marriage or getting married. And it is surprising to know that the first 3, money is not even part of it. money is not part of the first three. That's my personal opinion. And I'm saying this because of the volume of all I've shared last week and all I've shared so far for the last 30 minutes. There are seven critical factors that you must consider first. And out of these seven, right, among the number three, money is not one of them. So because of our time, I will focus on just the three of them. Then we'll round up perhaps some other time, or when we get into class, we can look at exhaustively at the entire seven critical factors that are much more important when it comes to marriage. So, having against that background of what we've said so far, what are the first three things that are much more important than money when it comes to preparation for marriage? Number one of them is the economic potential, the economic potential of your current skills or expertise. Your current skills, for instance, right? Irrespective of how much you are earning at the moment, maybe it's 30,000 with your current skill, maybe it is 50,000 with your current skill, maybe it is 100,000 with your current skill. What is the economic potential? What is the scalability of your current skill? Does your skill, current skill and expertise, does it make room, right, for you to be able to earn more money in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? That is much more important than how much you are earning at the moment. Because if you have the right skill, the right economic skill, or the right expertise, the right knowledge, right, you have a guarantee irrespective of inflation, because right now there is inflation, people are still building houses, people are buying cars, even though there is inflation. High dollar is going up. People are going to move to their house, their first house, even at the end of this year. People bought landed property this year, right? So your skills, right, is your skill and expertise is much more important than how much you are earning right now. What are the potential? What are the economic scalability of your current skill? Does your skill or expertise right now, does it have room to make it possible for you to start earning 1 million naira monthly in the next 5 years? That is one thing you must first of all look at critically. If you have that guarantee that this is my skills and my skills are enough, right? They have the scalability, the space for me to earn more money in the next 5 years, the next 10 years. Then you have solved that, you have answered the first readiness question that you must answer in preparation for marriage. Once you can guarantee that, there is nothing else you are waiting for. Because whether or not you get married today or you get married tomorrow, you have something that is guaranteed enough, that is scalable, that can be grown over time. That is where the technicality of what you can do with your current income and increase its value, right, is important. So that's your skill and your ability to grow your income from its current rate, right, to a higher level of possibility from 10 years from now is much more important than how much you are earning at the moment. That's number one, that is much more important. That's money when it comes to marriage. Number two, irrespective of how much you are earning at the moment, right? And it doesn't matter whether it is 30K, whether it is 50K, whether it is 100K, whether it's 200K, whether it's 500,000. In fact, I saw a comment here this morning. Somebody said that it is not really how much you earn, right? And still on this American Nobel Award, it's not really how much you earn. Do you know how to even keep money? Do you know how to run down your expenses and keep a part of it? So even if you are earning 500,000, you don't know how to manage that, right, effectively over time, putting a portion aside, investing in yourself as a source of your income, growing your skill, it is still not enough, right, to guarantee you succeeding in marriage. So the number two thing that is much more important than money itself when it comes to preparation for marriage is the quality of your circle of influence right now, the quality of your friends. Who are your friends at this moment, at this point in time? Who are those speaking into your life? Who are those coaches mentoring you? Right? Who are those that you are exposed to as an individual? If you earn 30K right now, what are the quality of your friends or the strength, the economic strength of the circle of influence? Because each of us right now, we are as strong as the strength of the economic strength of our circle of influence. The other time I was speaking to someone, I made a reference to how that was the time I needed 1 million naira for something. I needed 1 million naira for something, and I just called my wife. I said, please, I need 1 million naira to sort this out, please. Can you help me out? And she sent the money to me, right? That is the strength, the economic strength of your circle of influence, as it were, right? Now, the thing is, do you know that right now, even if you earn, let's say, 100,000 or 500,000, do you have the economic strength in terms of circle of influence? That if you need 5 million or you need 1 million in emergency, like right now, what's the quality of a circle of influence? How long will it take you to raise 1 million? How long will it take you to raise 500 kids? How long will it take you to raise 5 million, 10 million like that? That is your economic strength as an individual. That is even much more important than how much you earn right now because it's about the quality of the value of what you have around you. Because the quality of our future is dependent on the quality of our network, right? You know what is network? You know what they say network, right? Network is the one is the cash volume or the total asset of everything that you have or that you own. That also includes human resource. Your network, a part of your network is human resource. The people around you is actually much more important than how much you earn right now. So if you don't know how to invest in quality relationships, if you don't know how to nurture, if you don't know how to grow, right? The quality of your business that time, how much you have right now. You are already limited in the future from 5, 10 years from now. You are limited. Not because you don't have enough money, not because you lack money, not because you have so much money, but because you lack the skills and the ability, right, to grow, nurture, and invest in a quality relationship. To a large extent, your friends right now that you have around you are going to determine how much you are going to earn in the next 5 years. Those who you are listening to, those who are speaking to your life, those really need what is already a factor whether what you're going to earn in the next 5 years, in the next 3 years, in the next 10 years, as it were, right? So that is number two thing that is much more important, right, than your marriage itself. So you must learn how to build a community of people that believes in you and that you also believe in. I'm not talking about a couple of instances where you are always getting people for money. That is, you are a contributor to the entire system. You are seen as valuable to the entire system. Out of those, if you have that circle of influence, you already have the number two things you need in your confidence to get married now. Because that's a part of your economic strength from 5 years from now, from 2 years from now. Now, perhaps you may not know this, but let me explain something to you that, in marriage, right, I tell people that marriage is actually an economic strategy. It's an economic strategy because when you get married as a guy or as a lady, what happens is that, let's say you have, as a lady, you have been able to build a quality relationship among 5 people within your circle of influence. Irrespective of how much you are earning right now, right? Within your circle of influence, you have quality 5 people around you as a lady. Then your man also has 5 people around them, quality relationship around himself also. When you marry, right, what you've done is that you've expanded your circle of influence. Because the friends of your wife will not become your old friends. The friends of your husband will not become the friends of the wife itself. So, as if you have expanded or exploded, right? The strength, as in your economic strength in marriage. That's just people get married and they get new jobs that recommended probably from the wife side. Or people get married and they get a better job or get recommended for better positions in certain environment just because man, like your friend to their husband recommend them for a better job. You see what I'm trying to the point I'm trying to make here. So as it were much more important than money, number one, the potential of how much you earn of your skill right now, the potential of your expertise right now is much more important than how much money you are making at this point in time. Number two, that is much more important than money is the quality of your influence. Is the economic strength of your circle of influence, right? I'm not yet a multi-millionaire, but I have friends in a circle of influence who are millionaires. Who I call, they will pick my call. Who pick my brain in certain things and certain advice. They are part of my circle of influence. You get it? So when I get married or my wife get married, that circle of influence was expanded as it were. For instance, right, I got married with 19,000 naira. This ring in my hand is 10 years old. It's gold, not my whole 500 naira. entered inside. It was a gift, the strength of our circle of influence. Heard that we were getting married. They said, no what, you know what? I'll get the ring. It's gold. I watch things with it and all that. This will be I don't want to call how much it can be worth right now, but then what I'm saying is I didn't buy this with my own money. Somebody here, my circle of influence that were getting married, right, provided the money to get the ring. So the quality of your circle of influence, one, the quality of your skills, right, or the percentage of your expertise, two, are much more important than how much you are earning right now when it comes to preparation for marriage or getting you ready for marriage. Number three, I said there are seven things that are much more, there are seven critical factors, right, when it comes to marriage. And the first three, money is not part of it. So number three is the strength of your family values. The strength of your family values. Your family values, just like your circle of influence, is much more important than how much you earn right now. Because Facebook, right, I was one of my mentors war, and he made a statement. He said the guy that is trustworthy and that is ready to learn, follow me. Anyone who is trustworthy, who has character, who is truthful, who is credible, right, and is ready to learn, say there's absolutely nothing that they cannot become in this life. Why? Because integrity is so scarce right now. Credibility is so scarce right now that people are looking for people who are trustworthy. And trust, credibility, character, integrity is part of your family values as an individual, whether for your wife to be or for your husband to be. Your integrity, your credibility, your commitment to truth as part of your family value, your sense of responsibility is much more important than how much you are earning right now. So when you find a lady or you find a guy who has these three qualities, first of all, irrespective of how much they earn at the moment, right? They have everything they need to create a great future from 5 years from now, from 10 years from now. There is no need to wait till you have enough money because guaranteed you're going to have enough money. Unless, of course, an ability for the worry. If you have these three things in place, the strength and the economic scalability of your current skills. Number two, the quality of your circle of influence. Number three, your family values in terms of integrity, character, truth, credibility, sense of responsibility, commitment to life and drive. Even if you lose everything tomorrow, you are still committed to go again today because something is driving you from inside out. That is much more important than money itself. Because even if you grow to a point you are earning 2 million every month, that can make you lose everything, that you have to start afresh. If you have these three things, you already have enough resources, human resource, skill resource, and experience to start afresh, and a community to start afresh, to start building up again. Let me tell you guys a story, right? There was a guy that, there was a family story, true life story of a family, how the husband lost his job where he was working, and they had a Sienna then they were using for the family use and all that. The husband lost his job, and they were back to square one. Now, when he came home and brought the news to the wife, first of all, calmed him down, provided water for him to drink, right? After bathing, right? He discussed with him, now that this has happened, where do we go from here? Then he encouraged the husband, and you know what? I have some savings somewhere. I think for more to get a better job, right? At this point in time, let's look for what we can do with my savings and this Sienna that we have right now. And that was how, after a series of brainstorming, they were able to come up with starting the egg business, egg supply. They were able to start supplying eggs, right, in their environment. And that was it. By the next morning, after the night and all that, about 3 weeks or a month about, they called their entire family meeting, told the entire children, look at what has happened right now. The father has lost his job, and it is not the end of the road for us. This is what your dad has decided to do. We have to cut down on certain things we've been doing before, and let's see how this can go. And that was how this man started using the Sienna to start supplying eggs. Now, it's important to know that this man did not finally return back to even doing any other. The 1 year, that one Sienna grew into 3. because they needed to expand not into transport but into supplying more eggs. So over time, they saw that they were even making, the man was even making more money, bringing more income into the family in 1 to 2 years than how much he was even earning on a monthly basis. What I play there is the ability, right, for the guy to know how to, this is where I am right now. How do I move from here to the next place? It's a higher form of skill than how much he was earning at that point in time. So these three things are more important than any other. That is a critical thing that you should think about. So I will round up with this so that we can take questions because I have just 1 hour for this section, right? So let's take questions. So I don't know if you are there so that we can take some questions and we can move on and round up from the study, right? So
Okay, so before we go ahead to
that is
take
my own.
questions, thank you, sir, so much. Before we can go ahead to take questions, there's a program that you're organizing. Please, can you give us an exhaustive description of that program? Guys, meanwhile,
Can hear you.
I said, can you hear me now clearly, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, so I was saying that there's a program that you're
I can hear you now.
organizing. There's a program you're organizing. Before we ask our questions, there's a program you're organizing. Give us an exhaustive description of what the
Okay.
program is all about. But as he's describing now, as he's sharing his thoughts in that program, guys, please can you ask your questions in the comment section so that when he's done, we'll commence asking questions for the next 15 minutes before we finally round off in this conversation. So please ask your questions, drop them in the comment section. I'm going to tap on the screen and your question will pop up on the screen to have Dana Robasa, our guest, answer your question. But in the meantime,
I'm not sure. The thing is breaking. Excuse me, please. It's in hand,
Dan
so I
has
can't really
something
hear
that is
you.
of very great value to everyone who wants to get married.
Okay, it's all right. So if you're done, just put me
Dan, can you
on
get
so
me?
that I will continue. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Dan,
I
can you
can hear
hear
you
me now?
now.
All right,
Yeah, I can
sorry,
hear you now.
there
Yes.
was a little glitch in network. All right, so I said, go ahead
Yeah.
and describe for us this very fantastic program of yours that you have. And guys, while he's
Okay.
answering, please ask your questions in the comment section based on all that he has described for us today, what he has shared with us, and then he will come back to answer. Thank you, Dan. Over to you.
Oh, all right. So like I said when I was speaking, right? By this month of October, by 20th of October, actually I'll be 10 years in marriage, celebrating my 10 years in marriage anniversary, right, at the moment. So this year, 10 years, we talked about it, my team and I said, you know what, let's see if we can package my experience, preparation for marriage, getting married with 19,800 NYC allowance, and then hold 10 years already in marriage at the moment. Can we design an online course that could actually hold somebody by the hand, whether they are single or they are married, right? And take them through the marriage experience, right? To make it almost effortlessly seamless for them to be able to get into marriage itself and settle down, whatever, irrespective of how much they are earning at the moment, right? That's how we come up with what we call the ship wedding online course, right? It's a 30 days 4 weeks online course, 30 days, 4 weeks online course, right? It covers everything that has to do with marriage, preparation, picking a life partner, and the marriage itself, right? So, first of all, the week one is a 4 week, 30 week program, 30 days program, rather. First of all, the week one, we look at why it is not your job, right, to prepare for marriage, why it is not your job. And first we're going to be looking at the critical factors, 7 reasons why it is not actually your job, right, to prepare for marriage, and what your responsibility is supposed to be. That's what we'll cover in that entire 1 week, right? So we are done with that first 1 week, right? The videos are pre-recorded, so we upload them daily from the 1st of November, right? To start the class will begin officially. We upload the videos, you watch, and you ask questions to respond to them, and on Sunday of that same on the first week, we come live and take all the necessary questions that you need us to answer, whether you are single or you are married, right? Then, by the second week, you move a step further and start looking at who told you you are ready for marriage. Who told you you are ready for marriage is a question that will look at readiness question that you must find answers to for those who are already married, right? For those who are single, preparing for marriage, and those who are already married right now. 7 critical questions you need to ask yourself and find answers to right now before getting into marriage or to strengthen your marriage at the moment. So we'll look at them also pre-recorded video. We upload them every day for 6 days of the week. You ask your questions in the comment section, and about the Sunday of that same week, we go live for Q&A section. We answer all your questions that have to do with the 7 values, right? When it comes to preparing for marriage. By week 3, right, we move on to what we call fail-proof value-based marriage. The 7 critical values you must look out for in your life partner, or that you must start investing in or strengthening right now if you're already married, in your partner or in your marriage, right? To make your marriage fail-proof. The truth is, right now there's a lot of stories about bad marriages, bad this, bad that, right? But the reality is that if your phone is bad or is not working well, what do? You take it to those who have knowledge, right, to fix the phone itself. The same thing is true about marriage, right? Marriage that are working are successful over time and much more than the marriage that are failure you see on social media. So the marriage that are working, there are some things that are critical factors that is making them to work. It is not by chance, it is not by law. Something is making them to work. That's how you look at those 7 critical values, right, that makes a marriage to work, that you must be sure of, right, to ask your partner or to begin to look at in your marriage to know whether these things are there. If they are not there, find a way to start infusing them into that marriage. Also, 7 pre-recorded videos, 6 rather, we'll upload all 6 every day for the first 6 days of the week. Then by the Sunday of that 3rd week, we'll answer all your questions that have to do with those values. And the first week, the core program itself, right, is where we start looking at the money and the marriage. The money and the marriage. Where we pick out 7 critical skills, high income at the moment, that you can acquire right now, right, and be able to blow up your income in the next 1 or the next 5 years to at least 7x what you currently earn. So if you are in a marriage or relationship where the money is not really enough, it's not going around enough for you to run the entire house, right? For married couples who are already married, this is one thing. This for one reason you'll be of the class itself. And if you are single, you're looking to getting married to get the next 1 year, the next 5 years, or the next 10 years, right? Like I said before, you don't get ready for battle in the face of battle. You get ready years before the battle arrives. So these critical skills are going to save you from just waiting that you're going to make more money. They are going to be able to guarantee you being able to grow your current income to at least 7x its current work, right? Because once you are able to do that, then you have moved the money challenge out of the entire equation. And apart from that, we're going to also look at how do you manage finance, home and all. It's a holistic course that covers everything that has to do with marriage, getting married, the wedding, and all that, right? Everything has the entire course as what is covered, right? Now, right now, because of my marriage anniversary for this month of October, between now and on the 20th of October, which is my marriage anniversary, the pre-order cost of this online course is just 3,000 naira, right? 3,000. The rate price is 25,000. But for pre-order between now my marriage anniversary and 20th of October, the cost is 10,000. So if you jump in now, all you have to pay is 3,000 naira. Then, if you wait till 20th after my marriage anniversary, between 20th and 30th of October, the cost will double to 6,000. So if you don't pay 3,000 naira now, you will have to pay 6,000 between now and between 20th and the end of October. Now, where it gets more crazy is this: by the end of October, when the class will begin properly, from the 1st of November to 30th of November, so the 30 days, 4-week course. By the end of October, the full price of the course is 25,000, which takes full effect. So you either jump in with 3K or you jump in later by 6,000 or something like that, or you finally ready to pay the full entire money, 25,000 for the entire course, starting from the 1st of November all the way to the to end of November, all throughout the whole of next year. That's not all. The course is not just an online course that you just do and just attend and just go. You're going to also have lifetime access. But it begins first of all with 355 days support, entire support, right? So we take the classes for 30 days and we will do all right the year, answer your questions, entry on under for the next 5 years. We are working together, right? Trying to consult, trying to encourage you, trying to show you, share knowledge with you within the online plan for where the course is hosted. Now, the point is the most important part of this is this. Because of the workload, we can only accommodate only 100 students for November cohort. Only 100 students will not take more than that. And please don't wait. You are enjoying the course. Don't wait till the late hour before you jump in, because if you jump in late hours, we'll have to respond to your money because we don't want to overwork ourselves. Just 100 students only will be in the right. Once you have 100 people, is the course is gone. Now for this 100 students, part of what sharing with you the course of the first week of the course is the skill of affiliate marketing. Right? We'll break it down for you to be able to understand it as to the barest minimum, not what they teach haphazardly, right? We bring experts into the class, among other 6 other skills, affiliate marketing. So for this 100 students, we're going to be also teaching you how to start selling this entire course. The Cheap Wedding online course, the 30 days program, 4 week 30 days program. You can set any commission to send the course to us next year. So for this 100 students, we want to spend time with them, coaching them about affiliate marketing, how to sell either this course or every other course, right? Earning safe commission out of the entire course. Now, it doesn't also end there. As a consultant myself, right, over the last 10 years, I've invested my time into study of web creation and how the money works and all that. I've written about 5 ebooks right now, basically with second how to reach anywhere across Africa. 5 ebooks at the moment. So for the first 100 people, the 100 people that are going to be coming in October, I'm going to be giving you guys the entire 5 ebooks absolutely for free. They share strategy how you retire anywhere across Africa, right? So that is what the 100 people get to gain between now, right, and the end of October. So to have 100 people, that will shut down the doors for registration. So I think that will be all for now. And I think let's take the questions now, sir. If you are still there. Hello, sir. Are you there? All right. I think before I make to come up, I think I have a question. I'm just ready to that should a guarantee for getting married. What about salary earner, right? I think I don't know how long you'll be following Emeka know this over time. I think in this platform also we've been able to look at how that whatever you have right now you can package it, your knowledge, experience, even as a salary earner, right? One of the challenges some of us face, one of the mistakes some of us make is that is when you limit your life to how much you earn per month. It is not because you lack capacity to earn more. That's why I said the ability to grow well is more important than how much you earn. So what should be focused, if you are salary earner right now, what should be focusing on is how do I get into this course, right? And be able to find a way to be able to grow my current finances as a salary on. Let's say you earn 100K right now. Once you are able to know how to earn more money in the next 1 year, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, because you cannot just say you are salary earner and just sit there and just be waiting, because the more your family, I don't know where you're going. Don't know whether you were here when I was talking about the place of, even if how much you earn right now is irrelevant or not that important as your capacity to create wealth or to multiply your money. Because if you're a salary earner, right, You are waiting till when they will increase your salary to be enough before you not get married. Question is, when will that be? When will that be? There's what we call personal economy. There's what we call personal independence. The challenge with most people is that they have not been able to grow their personal economy. Especially as an African, the truth is you must find a way, as salary earner, you must find a way to grow your personal economy. That's why I said that. There are people right now in this current economy who don't have hard and all that. There are people who will move to their own houses with legitimately earned income this year. There are people who bought their own car this year, salary earners or not, right? There are people who have grown to they were earning salary before. They were able to grow their capacity. Say, you know what? I think even this job is taking my time compared to how much I can create on my own as an individual. Right. So if you're a salary earner right now, that is your challenge right now is that you're looking at how much you're and that's why you don't want to get married. Your focus should not be your salary, but how do I grow my income currently? Let's say you earn 100,000. How do I 7x that income in spite of how much I'm being paid right now? As Africans, particularly, you must find a way to succeed in spite of who is in the government house of your state or nation. You must find a way to grow your income, ethically grow your earning. You must find a way. That is part of why you should sign up for the online course. By the time we are done the time, because you don't see how that as a salary earner, there are things you can still do on the side, right? To grow your money, you can ask for your sign up fee back, we'll transfer it back to you. So I think that will be my response to that question. I don't know if that answers your question, sir. So I make a note, sir. Can we take more questions, please? If there are more questions that we can take, let's take them. That we can try to run up. Hello. If there are no questions, I don't know why at times when I teach like this, people don't seem to ask a lot of questions, right? If there are no questions, then we can call it today or see where we can go from here. Are there more questions? Please just drop the questions. Let me use my other phone to check if there are questions in the comment section of this live. I can't even see any questions. Okay. There's just only one question there, which is if you say that one correct earning shouldn't be a guarantee for getting married, what about salary earners? So I should have answered that already. So there's no more questions there. Just one question that is there. So I make a note. I think I don't know whether you are still online, but I think that's the only question that you have there at this point in time. Let's see. We'll shut down from here, and we'll take it up from some other time. But then while we wait for Emeka Nobi, let me also talk about following me right now on my wall. You can spend some time on my wall. I've dealt with a lot of things, right? A lot of critical questions. I've asked them all entirely on my wall. You can go to my, if you're not following me already, you can go to my wall, start following me, then answer all those questions that are there, or start making comments, ask questions. And also, all throughout this month of October, my marriage anniversary month, I will also be sharing a lot of stories on my timeline, right? All throughout this entire month. If you're not following me already, you can just do that. So, I make a note that you can come up, so we can round up. Because I think we have just only one question that is on the.
Yeah, I think it's just one question that.
Yeah, just one question.
That we have. Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you so much for being part of the session. You share this live stream. That's one of the things that we do to be able to encourage those who are our guests who are sharing with us good knowledge. Share the live stream, and you can follow Dan Arubasa right on Facebook. His name is Dan Arubasa, Arubasa. And okay, I think there is a question there. Maybe this person. All right.
Okay, I think there's a question there. I'm seeing a question that says, is there a benchmark financially before going into marriage? Let's say at least man have a certain amount knowing the economy. I don't know when you join us for the live section, right? I think I've already answered this, right? That it is not really like I use myself as an example. I got married with 19,800 regular income. Depending on knowledge about finances and wealth creation, you have to pick your own benchmark. I can't tell you. That's why I started with saying that there is no right or wrong question or right answer to the question I was asked. Money or marriage, which comes first? There is no right or right question. You have to know where you are. I've just presented my entire argument to you why I think money is not important than money. There are some things that are much more important than marriage. For instance, I also make sure the place of location. If I tell you that 200,000 naira is okay for you to settle down with, if you live in Lagos, for instance, are you sure it will be okay? If you now, are you sure it will be okay? If I tell you 100K as a man is okay for you to settle down, right? If you live in Lagos or live in Abuja, are you sure it's enough for you to settle down? But in spite of all that, there are people in that same Lagos, there are people in that same Abuja who are earning 70,000 right now, but they are married with kids. So it has to do with individual preference. What do you want with your life? Are you okay with waiting till you make enough money? You have to set your own benchmark. But while you are setting that benchmark, I say you should look at the fact that don't focus on how much money you need first. Focus on your capacity to grow money, to multiply money. Because if you have that capacity, even if you got married with 500,000 and something happens and you are left with zero income, that capacity you will know what to do to multiply your finances or to start earning something over a period of time. It also has to do with the kind of partner you want to settle with. Sure. Not every wife or every lady out there that will agree to settle down with any guy with 19,800. It's not every lady out there. You get the point? So it has to do also with your choice of a life partner. Who are they? Are they ready to smooth you? You want to also wait for them to become big. Of course, those who want to wait to become big before they get married, there are also partners that are ready, that also have the same vision or the same dream for themselves. So as it were, there is really no best man that's okay. If it's 200,000 you must earn sex for start getting married, or 70,000 or 500,000 you must get sex. I ask the question: what are the guarantees that the situation will not even eat it up? If you are earning 200,000 naira, it is enough to get married. 5 years from now, it's no longer going to be enough. If your income doesn't grow because of inflation. So the most critical factor you must look at is how do I have the capacity to create wealth, to grow money? Once you are sure of that capacity, it doesn't matter how much you earn, go and get married. As far as you have an understanding partner, of course, that covers the entire course covers that, right? So I think that's my answer to this question. I make know if you are still there, maybe if there's another question, we can also take that. So we're trying to round up.
Okay, there are no other questions that I'm seeing. Okay, there are no other questions I'm seeing. So okay. I think you can share with us your final words for the session, sir.
It's okay. I think the final words I would like to is in life, knowledge is more powerful than money. In fact, all money have their roots or have knowledge as their source. The reason why you have people who are electrical engineers today is because electricity was discovered as knowledge. How to generate it out of the sea was discovered. How to monetize it was discovered. The entire profession of what we call electrical engineering is rooted in discovery or knowledge. There are people today who are, as it were, who have a strong investment in in pharmacy, right? They produce drugs and all that. They are into drug manufacturing. Their income can be traceable to knowledge, the processing of plants, right, into drugs. There are people also are making money from energy. Solar energy is also has roots in knowledge. All money has their root in knowledge. So rather than focusing on money first, right, the place of knowledge is the most important part of the entire marriage stuff. Because how much you know, just like tools that you are using to work today, right? Everything you have, how powerful the things you have in your hand will be is a function of how much knowledge you have about them. It has to do with skills, it has to do with marriage, it has to do with perfection, it has to do with expertise. So those are my final words. Invest your money, invest your time in growth. Knowledge. I can guarantee you income will not be a challenge over time. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mike. I look forward to another conversation next week Sunday. And to everybody who tuned in, please go ahead and follow him on his timeline so that you can get a lot more value regarding the subject matter. Thank you so much, Dan. It's another beautiful time to have this conversation. God bless you,
Thank you, sir.
and I look forward to a great conversation again. My regards to
All right,
everyone,
bro.
and good night from in the city of Port Harcourt to everyone who tuned
Peace,
in. Good night.
everyone, guys. Yeah. Bye bye.